Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the brand Iscream Nails. I do have 10 polishes that came in boxes that said all of them were scented. I will talk about the scents as I'm swatching them. I don't know that all 10 are scented, so I will let you know which ones I think are and which ones didn't have a scent to me. Either way, these are all available right now, so in the description box below, I will link the Iscream site, I will link their Instagram page, I will link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything from today's video. I will also link a page to their stockists. They are an Australian company. They do ship pretty much worldwide, just in case they don't ship to where you live, or if you wanted to order from a stockist in general, that will be down there as well. I am also now an Iscream ambassador, so I do have a coupon code for 20% off. That is an affiliate code. Feel free to use it. You don't have to. It does just make me a little bit more money to support the channel. So like I said, we have 10 polishes to look at today, and let's go ahead and get started. So first we have Cotton Candy Land, and this is a bright bubblegum pink cream. So here is our first coat of Cotton Candy Land. This covers really well here on this first coat. It does have a couple of dark spots, so I am going to go in for a second coat. Formula on it is very smooth, easy to apply, no running or pooling or staining. It is a little bit on the thicker side, but it is that thickness where it does stay right where you put it. This one also is scented like cotton candy. So here is our second coat, and that does cover completely in 2 coats for me. This one's also going to dry pretty glossy on its own. It's not like a you used a top coat kind of glossy, but it's more like a plastic kind of glossy. I would still recommend using a top coat if nothing else for longevity. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Pure Angel, and this is a gold to pink shimmer. So here's our first coat of Pure Angel, and then on my middle and forefinger I'm going to layer it over Cotton Candy Land. This covers pretty well in the first coat by itself. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 coats. It is reflective enough in 2 coats that nobody would notice a nail line, but if you look extremely close you might see a little bit of nail line. The formula on this is very smooth and easy to apply. It does lie nice and evenly as well, being used as a topper, and it does build up nicely on its own. Nothing's going to be difficult to remove, but a little messy. So there's 1 and 2 coats. Up next we have Tropical Overload, and this is a bright banana yellow cream. Here's our first coat of Tropical Overload. So this one also covers pretty well here on this first coat. It is a little bit streaky, so I am going to go in for a second coat, but again, the formula is very smooth, easy to apply, no running or pooling. I also didn't have any staining with this one. This is also not scented like bananas like I was looking for. It is very pineapple-y scented, and that is a nice, pleasant surprise to me. So this does cover completely for me in 2 coats. Depending on your application, you may want to go in for a 3rd coat. This one is also going to dry nice and glossy all on its own. That top coat is only recommended for making it last a little bit longer. So there is 2 coats. Up next is Fresh to Death, and this is a bright kiwi green cream. So here is our first coat of Fresh to Death. And this one is kind of more like a crelly formula as opposed to a straight up cream. It does take 3 coats to build up to complete opacity, and it's nice and squishy on the nail, and it does dry very glossy on its own. So I would go ahead and put this in the crelly category. So this is building up nicely in 2 coats. If you're not super picky or you work in super thick coats, you might be able to get this in 2, but I am going to go in for a 3rd. And this one is scented like peppermint, which I love. This one again is also going to dry glossy all on its own. The formula on it is very smooth, not too thick or too thin. It stays right where you put it, but it does self-level nicely. So here's our 3rd coat, and that does cover completely in 3 coats. Again, nothing in here is going to stain or be difficult to remove. So there is 3 coats. Up next we have Bubble Trouble, and this is a bright blue cream. Here's our first coat of Bubble Trouble. So
this does cover pretty well in the first coat, obviously not completely opaque, so I am going to go in for a second coat, but again, the formula is very smooth and easy to work with. No running, pooling, staining, anything like that, and this one is scented like bubblegum. So here is our second coat, and that does cover completely for me in 2 coats. Again, depending on your application, you may need to go in for a third coat of this if you work in extremely thin coats. But again, this one is going to dry nice and glossy all on its own. Nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove or staining. So there is 2 coats.
Up next we have Give Me Tingles, and this is an iridescent hex glitter in a clear base.
So here's 1 coat of Give Me Tingles, and this one is scented like fruit tingles, which I'm not sure what it is, but it is a very fruity scent. And so that's what threw me off about this collection, was I figured the creams would be scented and then the other ones wouldn't, and then I came across this one and it was scented, and I was like, maybe they're all scented. But it is confirmed that there are 6 scented polishes out of the 10 that you're looking at today. This one, you do have to manipulate a little bit to get the glitter to go right where you want it. It's not difficult to work with though. It is going to dry a little textured and be a little hard to remove. So there is 1 coat.
Up next we have Badass Berry, and this is a bright grape purple cream.
Here's our first coat of Badass Berry. And this one also feels more like a crilly-ish formula. It does feel squishy, it does apply a little bit thicker, but it's a very easy formula to work with, and that's why I would say it's a crelly, not a jelly, because it does build to full opacity in just 2 coats. This one's also going to dry it nice and glossy on its own. I didn't have any running, pooling, staining, anything like that with this one either. And there is so much of this undertone of blue in here, it shines off your nails. So there is 2 coats.
Up next we have New Year's Daze, and this is a gold glitter with holographic gold bar glitter in a clear base.
So here's 1 coat of New Year's Daze over Badass Berry, and this one does apply really nicely. You get a good amount of glitter out. If you wanted this opaque on its own, I would recommend the sponging method. The formula on this is good though. It's not too difficult to get those bar glitter to go where you want them. Sometimes you'll have those hanging off the end of your nail. You just push it back with another finger and it lies smoothly. This one's going to dry a little textured and a little difficult to remove. So there is 1 coat.
Up next we have Crushed Up, and this is a silver foily metallic.
So here's our first coat of Crushed Up. And honestly, this is fully opaque in 1 coat for me. I'm going to go ahead and do a second coat just to see what that looked like, but it's no different between 1 and 2 coats, so this one is, I would say, a 1 coater. Formula on this is very smooth, very buttery, easy to apply. So here's our second unnecessary coat. This one you will want a glossy top coat for if you want it to shine. It does kind of have that nice foily finish to it. Really, really like this one across the board. So there's 2 coats.
And lastly we have Rich AF, and this is a gold foily metallic.
Here's our first coat of Rich AF. So after having swatched Crushed Up, I totally expected this one to be another solid 1 coater. It is a little bit more sheer than the previous polish, so it is one that's going to have to be built up, but it does feel the same, nice and smooth, no problems with the formula whatsoever. Here's our second coat, and that does build up well in 2 coats, but I am going to go in for a third coat. If you're not super picky, you may be able to get away with just 2. This one and the last one are both going to dry pretty glossy on their own. You will want a top coat just to help that sparkle stand out. And nothing in here is going to require scrubbing, and this goes for Crushed Up as well, the silver one. It doesn't require scrubbing like a glitter, but it will get a little bit messy because of all of those little foily metallic pieces. So there is 3 coats.
So I do have 2 favorites. The first one being Cashed Up. This silver is stunning. This is almost a 1 coater. It would easily be a 1 coater after a couple uses. Formula on it is beautiful. I always look for a nice silver and gold, and this one was really, really quality there. Then my other one is Tropical Overload. Okay, banana yellow, all summer. I love this yellow. So Tropical Overload and Cashed Up are my favorites. And guys, that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.